all over the world reading the book and following the law. Nobody's listening to the living God. Everybody's following the law of the book. The Muslims, you know, you go to Mecca, you go all over the world, they have received a law from this book. And one thing I want to clarify before I get started. You know, because the title says that the law of God is coming from Mount Zion and not the Torah. Who is he that stands on Mount Zion? I had to put up there, I already know, so I'm doing this for y'all. So we talk about Mount Zion. What is Mount Zion? What does it mean to be standing on Mount Zion? Because some people think Moses the only one went to the mountain. A lot of my brothers think Moses the only one went to the mountain. So I'm just going to clarify that Jeremiah also went to that wonderful mountain that Moses climbed up on. But that really was a higher way of thinking, not actually a mountain. So if you turn to 2 Maccabees, you turn to chapter 4. It say, it was also contained in the same writing that the prophet warned, that the prophet, being warned of God, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him as he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed and saw the heritage of God. So this, I read this to clarify that somebody else also went up on that mountain and seen the heritage of God. But this time, nobody's going up on no mountain to see no heritage. You know, the Bible clarified this is the fulfillment of God, not to see no heritage or see the will of God. Moses went up on the mountain to receive the will of God, which is why he came back down and gave us the mannerism that we should have at this Last Supper that's going on. So Jeremiah also went to this higher way of thinking. Both living men. So Jeremiah also must have had a law, right? That's why Jeremiah came preaching in his book that the people that dealt with the law, they did not know God. You know, Jeremiah was teaching against the law. Why? Because he knew the law of God and not the one of pen and paper. And that's why when Jeremiah say, you think you are wise, but you have the false pen. Clarification, y'all, false pen. So the first chapter I'm going to go to, y'all, I'm going to turn to the book of Isaiah, y'all. Isaiah chapter 2. And y'all, this ain't going to be long, especially if I don't have no questions. It's going to be clear, cut, dry. Clear, cut, dry, y'all. Clear cut. I don't want to read. Chapter 2, y'all, is a chapter about the last days. I encourage anybody to read it. It's really very simple, especially if you've been listening to my videos. You know. But I'm going to start at 1 in Isaiah chapter 2. It says, this is what Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, meaning the kings and priests, in the last days. That should be clarity right there when you're reading this chapter. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord's temple will be established as chief among the mountains. It will be raised above the hills. All nations will stream to it. Now it clearly says that the Lord's mountain, the mountain of the Lord's temple. So this is really saying the higher way of thinking. Because this higher way of thinking is not praised right now. This higher way of thinking is some people call you crazy for thinking this high, man. You lost your mind. So when you come up to this higher way of thinking, you're above earth, so you don't have earthly standards. But this standard is being raised up as we speak. I just want to let you clarify what this mountain is, because this is not actually a mountain, y'all, that we go up on. This is just a higher way of thinking. And it say it will be raised up above the hills, and all nations will stream to it. Many people will come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. He will teach us his ways, so that we may walk in his paths. The law will go out from Zion, the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Now, I often tell y'all, Jerusalem is actually not a place. Jerusalem is a mind frame. Those who have a heavenly mind frame. Which is why if you read some books, it'll say the sons of heaven. Or it'll also say the people of Jerusalem. That's the same thing as saying the sons of heaven. Jerusalem is that state of mind that the kings and priests are supposed to be in. But when they didn't want to worship the true Father, they lost Jerusalem. Jerusalem was destroyed, which was that mind frame. Oh yeah, sis, I do have to get back with you, sis. I'm gonna message you, sis. I was sorry about reading your message and not getting back to you, but I know you know what I'm talking to. So but just clarify and say the law will go out from Zion. But many people saying the law is the Torah. You know, somebody say, I only follow the Torah. I don't believe in the New Testament. If it ain't in the Torah, it ain't true. Well, that's not true, y'all, because God is a living God. The living God not in the Torah. The living God walking the earth. Because the living God is the spirit that dwells inside the vessel our Father has chose. That is the living God. So, right now in the last days, Isaiah is clarifying where the law is going to come from. Mount Zion. Not from the Torah. Clarification, y'all. And just for more clarification, I'll read Jeremiah, since y'all know Jeremiah went up on that mountain too. If you go to Jeremiah 2 and 8. I'm sorry, 8 and 8. Jeremiah 8 and 8. It say, how can you say we are wise? For we have the law of the Lord. This is what many people are saying. I follow the Torah, so I got the law. So you think you wise. That's Jeremiah had the same problem. Jeremiah was also Christ of this book. Which is why Jeremiah say don't call him Christ, because Jeremiah seen the heritage of God. But this video ain't for this. So he say, how can you say we are wise? So all my teachers, all my people that follow the Torah, how you gonna say you keeping the law of the Father? For we have the law of the Lord, when actually the lion pen of the scribes has handled it falsely. The wise will be put to shame. They will be dismayed and trapped. This is what's going on right now, y'all, because this book clarified that the law of God is not in the Torah. This is what the book say. I'm going to read a couple of more scriptures, then I rest my case. Let's go to Revelation, y'all. Because Revelation is a book everybody is running from in these last days, because the revelation of things is actually going on, y'all. But let's go to Revelation 14, y'all. Because I often tell y'all about the blood. This is what we really going to be saved by, because blood is life. So if you really want to know the secrets of God, you have to be blood in and blood out. It was the only way. So if we turn to Revelation 14, y'all. Because right now in Egypt, you had to be marked with the blood of the Lamb to make it out of Egypt. This is why this story and this message was given to us. This message about being marked with the blood wasn't given to us for history. It was given to us for a message so we'll understand the fulfillment of God. The Bible was written for us, not our forefathers. I think that's something we need to understand. Like, our forefathers didn't need to read the Bible because they weren't going to fulfill the Bible. We reading the Bible because we are going to fulfill the Bible. That's why the Bible really is being coming alive right now, y'all. But again, I want to clarify, y'all, that the law is not in the book. That's what I'm on here for. So I'm going to stick with that. Revelation 14. It say, then I looked, and there before me was a lamb. So when he looked, what was he looking at? The vision that he was seeing of the fulfillment of God. Where was this lamb standing. Before me was a lamb standing on Mount Zion. The same vision that Isaiah seen. The law coming from Mount Zion. What the Lamb of God gonna have? The Father's law. Because why? God chose him, not Moses. So he ain't gonna say, I'm reading the Torah. You know? Because he was sent by God and not by Moses, y'all. It's a big difference. Even Moses told you, man, don't listen to me. God gonna raise somebody else up. You listen to him. Those was Moses' words inside the Torah. But we don't want to believe Moses. So you can't believe the one Moses wrote about. Because we don't believe Moses. So it say, standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144, who has his name and his father's name. Boy, that's cold, y'all. His name and his father's name. Man, that's deep, y'all. Written on their foreheads. So this lamb right here, y'all, that's a very powerful thing right there. Like I told y'all, you don't have to believe on Christ. But to get one step closer to truth, you must know that this lamb is walking the earth. That'll bring you one step closer to truth. I promise you. So again, Revelation is the fulfillment of God. And Revelation clarifies that the lamb was going to be standing on Mount Zion. Why? Because that's where the law of God was going to be. This is where the people are going to be taught the ways of God. On this mountain. This mountain is the higher way of thinking. And I'm closing, y'all, because I want to go to one more scripture, y'all. And I'm be closing, y'all. I don't want to make it too long. I want it simple, y'all. I ain't going to put too much on your plate that you can't eat. Hebrews 12, y'all. I don't know if I'm going to read. Let me make sure. 12 and 22. Hebrews 12 and 22, y'all. Hebrews 12 and 22, y'all. I forgot my glass, so I got to drink out my jug, y'all. So Hebrews 12 and 22, y'all. Hebrews is another great book inside the New Testament, y'all. It was written to the who? The Hebrews that was working like Hebrew slaves. Y'all ever heard the saying, man, you working like a Hebrew slaves? So in the New Testament, we're reading about the Hebrews. Why? Because we're talking about us. This is the New Testament. We're in our vain imagination, y'all. Vain stuff that don't profit. Hebrews 12 and 22. But you have come to Mount Zion, the heavenly Jerusalem, the city of the living God. The living God, huh? The living man that possessing the heavenly spirit of God. That's why God is a living God and he don't dwell with the dead. You have come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven. So on this mountain is going to be a big assembly, a big gathering. For what? To hear the law of the Lord. Like everybody got the Bible right now. You go all over the world, you're going to have the Bible. But now the Bible is being spoken orally by who? Living men. And the anointed one, the firstborn from the dead. That's all Christ is. The firstborn from the dead. To make everybody bear witness to the image of God. That's all Christ is. That's why they call him teacher. To teach the oral law that's given to us by our Father and not from a book. So I read this in Hebrews 22 just to clarify everything I read in Isaiah, Revelations, Second Maccabees with Jeremiah going on the same mountain that Moses went up on. All these things, y'all, again, is one counsel. One God, one bread, one loaf. So I didn't have nobody come up here. I wanted some Torah people to come on here, y'all, and talking about the law in the Torah. Show me a scripture where it say the law not in the Torah. I just showed you. I showed you a couple scriptures in here where it say the law is not in the Torah. The law is on Mount Zion. And the one that's standing on Mount Zion has the law, not Moses. Facts. So, and before I go, many people are going to say, well, what about the scripture when the Father say, do not forget my law? Well, Moses gave us manners, not really a law. That's why they call it the Moses law. So it's not God's law, it's Moses' manners, so you can receive the law. They say Moses gave you the manna. Christ gave you the bread from heaven. So Moses couldn't give them the Father's law because they didn't accept Moses. Moses gave them the mannerism to help receive the law. Manners, y'all, when you come at the table, you gotta know how to hold your fork. You know, you gotta know how to put the food in your mouth. You know, sometimes you gotta know you might have to cut, you might need a knife. You gotta know all these things when you sit at God's table. So Moses gave you mannerism and not the bread from heaven. Now you are getting the bread from heaven. Not many people can accept that, but that's facts, y'all, as my brother just said. So as always, brothers and sisters, man, I hope the Father has circumcised y'all heart and ears for the message. Peace and blessings, and I'm out.